All right, Adventures of the Arrowverse, episode 4. We're going to be talking about Arrow season 4. Our opinions about it. I'm joined by Riely, special guest of the episode. Say hi, Riely.
Hey everybody, I'm happy to be here on Adventures of the Arrowverse. Is that what the show's called? Of the
Yep,
Arrowverse?
Adventures of the
Okay,
Arrowverse.
got it. I knew Adventures and I knew Arrowverse. I don't know what words were in between.
Yeah. So if you enjoyed the episode, hit like button down below. Sky if you're new. If you're watching on Spotify or Anchor, I don't know what you can do over there. Like it or something.
Oh
Do one
shit,
of
do
those.
you have an
Share it.
Anchor feed? I didn't know you did. That's
Yep,
cool.
I do. I
I also
post it
forgot to ask if
on
I could swear.
anchor.fm.
Oops.
It's fine. This ain't
Okay.
PG or anything. I know you. You're gonna swear your head off the
I
entire
can I can
episode.
try I can try not to, but I'm sure a few will slip out.
I know you. I know it will. It's how it was when we did Into the Arrowverse. You always slipped up on your words. Every time we did an episode, you always swore. I just put up with it. Like,
That's
so it doesn't matter.
eventually you gave up. Like you try like
Yeah,
we tried to argue about it and then you're just like, you know what?
no.
It's fine.
So, Arrow season 4, interesting season. It's definitely interesting. Um, Obviously, to the public, this ain't a good season, right? No one likes this season unless you find a rare species of human beings who do like it, right? I know you like it, right? You said you liked it.
Yes, I am one of those rare human beings. I don't
Yeah,
understand why people hate this season. I adore this season.
I didn't really hate it that much, but I wouldn't say it was my favorite season. I would say it was an okay season. Compared to season 1, 2, and 3, this was worse than those seasons. But season 4, for me, the writing was just off. I don't know why. Maybe because we're getting like a more hopeful Oliver
I
Queen.
know why. I know why. Let me explain
But
my perspective on this season, right?
yeah,
So, I understand that people who watch DC products primarily as their source of superheroes might have a different perspective as to what they want out of a superhero show than I do. Because, people
yeah,
who are watching Arrow, they want like this super serious show about this super complicated character who has like this tragic backstory, and it's like this kind of dark and gritty show.
mm-hmm,
I got into
yeah.
superheroes with Power Rangers, Matt. So I love campiness. I like when a superhero show just goes all in on being silly and campy. And I think Arrow season 4 was Arrow's attempt to be silly and campy, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah. The way I saw superheroes was Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and then Batman through the Arkham games. So I had both, of those characters going to mind was watching Arrow, and I do get that like kind of comic-y feeling season 4 of Arrow. But for me, watching season 4 of Arrow, which I literally finished watching like an hour before we started recording this, I timed it perfectly, by the way. I don't know how I managed to time
The
it
last time I
perfectly.
watched the season was like 2.5 years ago, so you're
Oh
better off
well,
than me.
I'm rewatching all the seasons like I remember it when I did it, so I'm not mixing up anything. But when I was rewatching it, one of the things I just want to nitpick on this because it's been a thing on my mind all day, thinking about recording this episode.
hmm
Have you seen the suit? They put a green filter on
I
the suit.
love the suit. I love the suit. I don't know
The
about the green
suit,
filter.
the
I never
green
really paid
filter,
attention.
the green filter. It was so noticeable, and it made me throw up. Not really, but it almost made me throw up.
I
But
never
the
noticed it
suit,
as far as I remember, and I like the
yeah,
suit design. I like the short
I
sleeves,
do
and
too.
I like how it's designed. I'm a big
I do
fan.
too. I do like when they put the sleeves on, though. I like that suit because it fits Arrow more. But I do like the sleeveless. I think that was a good design. But I literally, the first time I watched Arrow, I didn't notice it at all. And I watched the YouTuber Blind Wave who reviewed Arrow one of the episodes, and they showed it specifically the green bright ass color on the suit. And now I can't stop seeing it. Every time I watch that season, all I see is that bright green ass filter on the suit, and it looks hideous. And it's just like, oh my god, why did you do that? Like, it was a good suit, and you just ruined it. But I'm glad they quit doing that in season 5. But that's the thing that's been on my mind ever since thinking about this episode. Like, I'm gonna nitpick so hard on that. Like, that's gonna Dark was a good villain on that. A good villain.
Hold on, Matt. You're cutting out a little bit. What were you saying?
Am I good? Out? Yes, maybe.
You're still cutting out a little. I would disconnect and reconnect. Hello? Are you there now?
That's 1, that's 2, that's 3.
All right, you sound better now. So I think I heard the word villain, so I think we're about to start talking about a good part of this season.
Alright. Dark the big bastards.
Okay, you did cut out again, but I think that problem will fix itself. I'll talk for a minute, and then hopefully your internet will fucking balance itself out by then. So Damien Dark, such a good villain, just so good. I love Damien Dark so much. He builds this season. He carries this season on his back. It is beautiful. Damien Dark is just such this charming villain character. He just has no respect for his fellow man. He'll just kill you. He'll just kill you, and he'll have a smile on his face, and he'll be cracking a joke while he does it. And it's so good. I love Damien so much. Like I could not get enough of Damien Dark. All right. Let's see if Matt has returned from the robot realm. What did you think of Damien Dark, Matt?
Oh, alright, what the fuck? My earbuds just broke. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you so you aren't cutting out, but now I'm echoing through your mic.
Oh, it's because I don't have earbuds in, because my earbuds broke. Hold on. This is going to shit.
Oh damn it!
This is going to
Unfortunate.
shit. Why are my earbuds acting up now of all times now? Why? Why?
Why?
I don't know why. This is okay. Hold on. I'm gonna switch to my tablet because that might be better. I'm on my laptop. I'll be back. Like a minute.
Okay.
Sorry. I don't know why it's
Okay.
acting up.
Okay, so I don't know if Matt is editing this show, so I should probably keep talking just in case. Damien Dark, great villain. Other aspects of the season that I could talk about a little bit. I'm sure Matt will give his thoughts as well. But this is the season with the Felicity origin story, I believe. Let me confirm that I do have the fuck the the wiki up. I don't know why it took me 8,000 tries to say the word wiki. I guess it isn't this season. I could have sworn this was the Felicity season. There's an episode just called Felicity, and it's Felicity's origin story. That might be a different season. I'm sorry. I guess it's the next season or something. Um, but yeah, I liked a lot about this season. I like that it finally gives us the name Green Arrow after dancing around it for 3 seasons for seemingly no reason. We finally get Oliver Queen. He is the Green Arrow, and that's really good. I really like the relationship dynamic between Oliver and Felicity. I've always loved it. I know that people, there are a lot of strong haters of Felicity Smoke out there, but I am not. I am not one of them. I am not on the screw Felicity Smoke train. I'm a big fan, and I know Matt agrees with me on that one. I've seen Matt defend Felicity on Twitter. I do want to talk to him about that when he gets back. There was a funny Twitter post that Matt made. But we'll talk about that when Matt gets back. So anyway, the crossover in this season was really. I don't want to talk about the big thing until Matt gets back. Like I'm dancing around the big thing that happens in this season. But the crossover, the Arrowverse crossover of this season was really good. I don't know his policy of talking about the crossovers, if you're gonna do that separately or something, but I guess I'll figure that out. So this is the setup for Legends, was this crossover, and we get the Kendra storyline with Cisco and Kendra and the Hawk people, and I think this one was quite enjoyable. I quite enjoyed the crossover. And I think this whole season was just very entertaining. Like they turned up the camp, which was something the Flash was already doing. Like they kind of just turned up the camp to like Flash levels, and maybe a little bit campier. Like this season went hard on the camp, but that's okay. That's in fact more than okay. I'm a big fan. Um, wow, he's taking a minute. He's taking his time, folks. I was really relying on Matt to steer the conversation here. Um, uh, um, what else happened this season? Uh, uh, this was the season Athea was part of Team Arrow, right? She was Speedy in season 4. Yes? I really hope I'm remembering this right, or else I'm gonna look like a really big dunce, like I did when I talked about the Felicity origin story episode, which I guess is not this season. I have a very poor memory of Arrow. Hmm. Yeah, I really like Thea Speedy. I like her being part of the team. I like Thea as a character, which is why it's sad that in the later seasons she isn't quite as involved. But you know, Willa Holland had better things to do, I suppose, and more power to her. But yeah, Thea was really good this season. I liked Laurel's participation on the Arrow team as well. I think it was just a really solid Team Arrow in this season. Like, I guess the presence of Roy is missed, but other than that, really solid Team Arrow. And Matt is back, so I can stop ranting like a psychopath.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hello. How you
Is it
doing?
is it better now?
Yes, you do. You do sound better, and I've been ranting maniacally to myself about this season
Oh, I
while you were
can't wait
gone.
to watch this back.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know if Matt edits this show, so I have to keep talking just in case.
The only thing I edit in my videos is putting a overlay on the video. That's it. So,
Okay, so yeah, I was right to keep talking because if I
yep.
had stayed silent, it all would have stayed. It just would have been silent. So
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you go.
So I'm assuming you talked about Dark, right?
Yeah, I talked about Dark. I
All right.
kind of I went on a bunch of random tangents. I avoided the big thing that happens this season because I wanted you to be here when I talked about that.
Mm. Well, what I was asking before my mic cut out was what you thought about Dark as a villain. So I'm glad you talked about him. I'm glad you
Yeah,
got that part.
I love Dark. I adore Dark. He's the best.
Yeah, I think Dark at the beginning, like it could have been like Alf could have stopped him early on in some case, but he just let him get way too powerful, I think. But it was really good. I like the actor as Dark. I think he always like gave it 100%, as Dark. That's always something that always stuck
Yeah,
with me
that
as
it
oh,
was a
what's Dark?
brilliantly casted villain. I think the
Yeah.
strength of Dark is like in this season at least, because I know he does get a lot of character development later, in like Legends or whatever, in the
And
Flash.
Flash. Yeah.
But in this season, he is a cold man who does
Yeah.
not care for fellow humans, and he will kill you, and he will have a smile on his face and be cracking a joke while he does it, and I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it so much.
He kind of gave off like a psychopathic Thawne and Zoom vibe, and Prometheus all rolled into one a little bit, like just that psychopathic, like murderous, like villain. It was really cool to see.
And
Just
it's also, I don't know if I'm remembering this wrong, but I believe it's the first villain in Arrow where there's not really a prior connection. Like it's not like, oh, you're part of my tragic backstory. You've come
yeah,
back to
yeah.
haunt me. It's like,
Oh,
no, he's just a bad guy who's just a really big problem that Arrow has to solve, and
yeah.
it's not like connected to his tragic backstory.
Well, the only thing related to Dark that was connected to Oliver to his past was the idol with Ryder on the island. That was connected to Dark. And that's how Oliver remembered it, because of Dark. That's the only thing connected. Like you said, it wasn't like with Slade, where like he was a part of Oliver's past, like he was a new villain that Oliver never ran into it before. Like, so we're dealing with that. I think it was good for the season. It made it different, made it better. So
Yeah, definitely. And what I also brought up, I hope I'm remembering this right, because my rewatch is shaky. I last time I watched this was 2 years ago. This is the season where Thea's on the Arrow team, correct?
yeah, she's speedy.
Okay, I was right. Okay, so yeah, I liked Thea on the Arrow team. I liked her as Speedy. I think the Arrow team in this season was very solid. You've got Oliver, you got Felicity, and you've got Thea as Speedy and Dig, and you've got what's the one I'm forget? Oh, Laurel is Black Canary. Like the very solid Arrow team. The I guess the presence of Roy is missed and his absence is felt, but I do
Well, he
think
did
that it's
show
a
up
good
this
Arrow team.
season,
He did show up, but he's not like a
and he was
main
on the team,
cast
which is
member.
very cool to see. So
Yeah, he did come back for a point, but he was not a main member of the team, and like that's
yeah,
always missed because Roy was. I think Roy made Team Arrow for me, and this in season 2.
yeah. Um, we had the second Arrowverse crossover in season 4,
Oh, I
which
did bring that
don't
up. Yeah, the
don't
Legends
talk
of
a lot
Yesterday.
about it because I'm doing a separate episode for the crossover. So
I thought that was what
I
you were doing.
can't talk a lot about it. You can talk
Yeah,
however much you want about it. I can't talk a lot about it
I
because that's an
I, I
episode further down the
I
line.
just said that I liked that it set up Legends, and I liked the storyline with what's her name? I had it
Vandal
a second
Savage,
ago. Not Vandal Savage too,
Kendra,
but the Kendra. Yeah, I like the storyline with Kendra and her Hawk boyfriend and Cisco,
yeah,
and it
hot
was a good
boyfriend,
episode. Her Hawk boyfriend. I don't remember his name,
Harbor.
but that guy. Yes.
What was the big thing you were waiting to bring up? Was it someone's death?
Yeah. So someone's
Right.
untimely demise in the season.
Yeah. I aka Laurel. I loved. Okay, I can't say I loved. The way they killed Laurel off. I think it was an emotional and, no pun intended, dark way. I
Mm,
guess pun intended for dark, but I think it was a really emotional and dark way to kill off Laurel, and I think it made the season way better. Looking at how Dig was affected in the episode later, with Andy being involved, and then blaming himself with Felicity finally coming back to Team Arrow after being gone for like 3 episodes, I think it was, and then just having all of Team Arrow blaming themselves and being broken. I think it was a good thing. And seeing Lance, I mean, I think Captain Lance Quentin was the best thing in this season. I mean, Paul Blackthorne, who plays Quentin, he always brought it. He brought it offset, on
of
set.
course.
He made Lance the best character on that show next to Oliver and Felicity and all them. He made it his own character, and that was. I always loved Quentin. I'm always gonna say that.
Wait,
But
Quentin Lance is a beautiful man. A great character.
yeah, yeah. He's the best damn dad cop in the Arrowverse next to Joe. I mean, you can't really get topped than Joe other than
I
Quentin. I
don't
mean,
know. I can say that I might like Quentin a little more than Joe, but that's
oh,
just
I
me.
100% like Quentin more than Joe, but I'm saying no one can top them. No one can definitely top Quentin or Joe. I don't care what shows come out in like 20 years. No one's gonna top Quentin or Joe. Like, these are the best people in the Arrowverse, Quentin and Joe, in my opinion, at least. So
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Quentin brought it, and I think the way he like went through the stages of grief for Laurel was really
yeah,
well portrayed. Like how when it happens, he like doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, Lazarus pit, easy, it's
yeah,
fine. And then everybody's like, nah, dude, you can't do that. And then
yeah.
it's like the slow descent into madness when he realizes he's lost his daughter. Like he has to go through that twice. Because he hears she's dead the first time and he's like, but wait, this already happened, we can bring her back. And then
Well,
when he finds
no,
out, no, we can't.
he went through it 3 times. When she died, and then remember there was that fake Laurel who pretended to be the Black Canary. It was Evelyn Sharp. She pretended to be the Black Canary. Quinn
Mm.
thought she was alive, lost her again, and then said the Lazarus Pit, and then lost her all over again. So he lost that. He lost Laurel 3 times in the span of 1 episode. That man, like, okay, like, they put Quinn through hell and back in 1 episode, alright? Like, that's just something about Quinn right then and there. Like, just, I felt so bad for Quinn in the episode, because I was like, you're putting him through hell and back 3 times over. Like, that's a little dark. Pun intended.
Yeah, and I really liked how, you know, it was a setup and payoff, Laurel dying, right? Because Damien Dark said, I am going to kill her, or like something to that effect. And then he does it. Like they try to stop him, but he does it. And that's a good setup and payoff there, where it's like the villain says, I am going to do this thing, and the whole team puts all of their effort forward to stop it, but it still happens.
Yeah. One of the things that just I remembered about season 4 was Malcolm. In the league, because remember we had that whole thing with Thea needing the elixir to heal herself, and we had Oliver chopping off all of Malcolm's hand and taking the League of Assassins ring and giving it to Nissa, and how pissed off Malcolm was.
Oh my
at
god,
that.
yeah, that was
And
crazy.
just a whole setup after. I mean, Malcolm getting a robotic hand, like Roy did in the future season, spoiler alert. But, I mean, it was so cool. I mean, it was cool, but also it was a really good episode. That one episode with Malcolm in the league and Oliver trying to save Thea, but also, you know, them saying, oh, one of them's going to die, Thea, or not Thea, Malcolm or Nissa's going to die. Like, one of them has to die to save Thea. And then you see Oliver being this hero and finding another way. He's looking in another direction. And that episode overall is just amazing. All the writing, I think that was the best writing the season had, frankly. Just entirely Malcolm was good enough for me. So,
well, Malcolm always brings it. Like, he's a great character.
Yeah.
He's got the charisma to pay the bills.
Any scene Oliver is in with Malcolm, it is the best scene in any episode with Oliver and Malcolm. Steven always brought it with Malcolm, whoever plays them. They always brought it together. Like, no matter what writing they get, they always both bring it when they're on screen together. That's what I always liked about them, too. Because it worked. It wasn't like, Oliver and Dark, where the lines are sometimes cringy as hell. It was Oliver and Malcolm. They have this weird psychopathic chemistry and humor in Malcolm that Oliver just hates with a passion, you know. That's what I love about him. Like, you hate Malcolm, but the humor is so ridiculously stupid, you can't not laugh at it. It makes the season more brighter with Malcolm, I think is the right what I'm trying to say.
It's true. This season, almost, not quite, right? But it's almost like The Boys level, where it's like this super dark, like, superhero plot is going on, but the writing is so, like, campy and funny that it's like, it's jarring in the best way.
Yeah, I would say season 5 is the darkest season in the show, only because of everything that led up with Prometheus. You know, I think season 5 is the darkest. But season 4 definitely had that tone of, it's a dark season, but we're also bringing this humor aspect to make it a little bit lighter. Not just so it's a full-on, you know, Flash Season 3 vibe here, but it's Arrow's theme, but we're also adding humor to it. And I think it was a good idea that they did that. I think it was just a little bit too much, I think, in some aspects. Especially related to Oliver, but that's just me, you know. But
See, season 5 is the one where Prometheus is the guy who, like, has a connection to Oliver. It's the season where Renee and Curtis get introduced, correct?
Yep, and
Yeah, okay.
Evelyn Sharp.
So I'm thinking of the right. Evelyn Sharp. Oh, she is my Arrowverse crush. They did her dirty, man. I feel so bad.
And then, we got the new bunker in season 4. The new bunker, which looks freaking amazing.
Yeah, it is pretty
dope. About that. We got in 403, the new and refurbished bunker, which looks like a freaking, literally like a bunker. Like, it looks like a nuke bunker down there. I mean, but it looks amazing. I mean, can you imagine if that was in real life? I want one. Like, I just want to go in there, like.
You want to have the Vitro Matt cave and like have
Oh
it be
yeah,
the
yeah.
Arrow bunker.
I'd buy it.
Am I pronouncing that? Is it Vitro?
Vetro.
Vetro. Dang
Mm.
it.
I don't think you've
I know.
ever said it right.
No, because you haven't. I always knew you as Flash because you were
Yeah,
Super Flash, whatever you were back then.
yeah,
And Flaro. I learned your name, Matt, and we haven't collaborated since you changed your name. So
yeah.
I mentioned you in a YouTube video because I did like a tier list of like everybody who I've ever worked with on the internet ever, and I said Vitro Matt the entire time. And I feel,
Oh, you mentioned me in that list
I
of
did.
YouTubers you worked
I,
with. Oh, thank you. That's sweet.
I don't
Thank
think
you.
I put you that high.
Oh, thanks.
Not
Don't worry, I
to
won't put you in my list at all. Then I won't put you in that. I won't put you in my list. Then.
Oh man. No, it was like I hadn't worked with you in a while, and it was like if I put
Yeah.
everybody super high, it wouldn't be an entertaining video. So I kind of had to be like, all right, I'll put him in C because I haven't done anything with him in a while.
I'll see. Of what? D or F?
I think F was the lowest score.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I gave anybody an F though.
No. Wow. Did you give anyone a D?
I gave a couple people a D. You
Oh, that's
ranked
good.
above a couple people.
Oh, good, good, good. Um, I like that this season, like we saw Dark right away, right? In 401, we got introduced to Dark, and we had a fight scene between Alvar and Dark. Like the other seasons, we got introduced to the villain either midway through at the beginning, but we never had a fight scene between the main character and the villain. I like that this season started off with that, even though it's a little bit dragged out at times later in the season. I do like that we got introduced to Dark right away. We knew what his powers were. Oliver knew pretty much right away because he got affected
Oh
by it.
yeah, the beginning, the first fight between Oliver and Dark was so good.
Yeah, on the train that was going super fast. I mean, it
Honestly, that's
was.
more memorable
Yeah,
for me than their last fight. Like, I don't even remember the finale fight that much,
I
but that
don't
first
either.
fight was
All I
really
can tell
good.
you, it was fucking like it was a bitch slap fight. That's what it was, and it was so disgusting. I'm like, this is not an Arrow fight. This is a fucking Supergirl fight, but in like Arrow. That's what it was. It wasn't a good fight. It
You
was.
know, I can never do it with Supergirl. Like that's why I've tried to get into more of the Arrowverse, but like every time I try
Yeah,
something that isn't Arrow or the Flash, it just doesn't do it for me.
yeah.
Supergirl, I've tried many times. It just doesn't do it for me.
But
I
that's pretty
wanna
much what the
I
final
wanna
fight
try
was in.
Stargirl. I wanna try Stargirl.
Stargirl was amazing.
I think I'm gonna
I
try to.
love the show.
I think if you'll have me, Matt, I'm gonna try to watch Stargirl season 1 by the time you get to it on this show, and I'll join you.
It'll be in a couple months, actually,
And
because I've been planning ahead. It'll be in a couple months. So,
yeah, I know you planned ahead, so yeah, I'll try to watch Stargirl season 1 before you get to
did I
it, and
send
then
you
I'll
a
come
full
on.
schedule list of when?
You did
Yeah,
send me a full
yeah,
schedule.
yeah. I don't know what else we can really talk about for this season. I don't remember. You think I remember a lot of it because I just finished watching
Yeah,
it.
you just finished I figured you would remember a good amount because you just watched it.
Yeah,
In an
but
error that I
like
made, this is not the season with the Felicity origin story, correct? That is another season.
that was season 3 or 2.
Okay. Okay,
I
because
think I touched on one of the episodes. If I
uh
didn't, I hate myself.
I
But
started talking about it and then I was scrolling through the wiki page and I was like, "There's no episode named Felicity here. Damn it, I have the wrong
yeah.
season."
But season 4, we did get Felicity's quote unquote dead boyfriend back, helping Dark.
Oh yeah,
You know,
that's true. I
I just
remember
remembered
that.
that when you mentioned it. I was like, he did show up, so there was a connection there. But and then he ended up dying too in the finale. Which is I'm so glad he died because I hated that guy. But which why wouldn't you? I mean, he was a dick. But
What was his name again? It's on the tip of
I
my
don't
tongue.
remember.
It's on the
Felicity's
tip of my
crazy
tongue.
boyfriend that was dead that magically came back to life.
Isn't he
Oh,
like
by the way,
isn't he
by the
really
way.
old?
Speaking of dead people,
Mhm.
Sarah, Thea, Ray, and Roy all came back.
Was
Ray
Ray
and
dead?
Sarah and Ray came back from the dead because everyone thought Ray
Oh,
was
Ray
dead.
did die, but he didn't
No,
though
he didn't
actually.
die. Everyone thought
Yeah.
he was dead because he shrunk
Yeah.
to the size of a tater tot. And then Roy came back, and Malcolm came back, and Thea almost died again. I mean, all these people all died, and then came back seasons later. Spoiler alert, but I mean, like, what is with the show and killing people off and then bringing them back? Give us a break with these characters. I mean, good lord. And then
It's
Sarah with her
true, but like
bloodlust. I mean,
that's how it works in shows like this. It's like
yeah.
you're
I mean,
gonna
they
get.
do it well. They do it well. It's not that they didn't do it well enough, but I mean, it's a recurring theme for the show. I mean, you kill someone off, they come back from the dead. It's an average Wednesday. As Felicity said it, I think this season, which we do the episodes on Wednesday, so I guess that makes sense.
Okay, that's not who I was thinking of.
So,
His name was Cooper Selden, and it's not who I was thinking of.
yeah.
Who am I
Cooper,
thinking
yeah,
of?
Cooper.
There's a character in Arrow. He's like a really smart guy. He worked with the villains. I think
Felicity's dad.
maybe. I think it might have been Felicity's dad.
I think his name was Noah Cutler.
Yeah, something like that. It was like the evil Laurel like manipulated him into doing something for her at some point. He's like this weird old guy.
That wasn't this season.
I know that wasn't this season. I'm just trying to
I don't remember who it
now,
was
'cause
though
I
either.
thought that's who this was, but I was wrong.
No, I don't think so.
But anyway, and Matt will get there someday. You'll hear it.
Yeah, probably in like 2 weeks or something. I think it's season
Yeah.
6, I'd assume, but who knows? So, overall, out of 10, what would you rate season 4 of Arrow?
You see, it's hard to rate it out of 10. I'm very
Yeah.
bad at that. I do know definitively where I rank it out of Arrow seasons.
Where would
And
you
it's
rank it out of Arrow seasons?
literally second place. Like I know it's insane, but I adore this season.
What's number 1 on your list? What's number 1 on your list?
Season 2.
Okay, what's number 3?
Season 5.
4?
4 is number 2.
No, I mean number 4 on your list.
Are you just want the whole ranking now? Okay.
Yeah, the whole ranking. You're not going to be on the podcast for much longer. I'm going to be on it forever, so I can't do this.
So it's 2, and then it's 4, then it's 5, then it's 1. You see, I have a hard time remembering some of these seasons.
Yeah.
What's the one with Diaz? That's 5,
6.
right? No, that's 6.
6.
Okay. Yeah, so 6 is next because I remember really liking Diaz. Season 8 because it's definitely not a bottom one. I like season 8. So it's number 6. And then I guess 6 and 7 are 7 and 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what what were the villains of 6 and 7?
My ranking. 6 and 7. 6 was Kaden, James, and Diaz, and then Diaz went over to season 7, and it was the 9th Circle in season 7.
Oh.
Season 8 was about Crisis.
I got stuff. I got it mixed up. Then I don't know what my ranking is, but I know that season
somewhere
4 is
around there. It's close to that. Is what you're saying? It's close.
I know my top 3 are season 2, season 4, season 5.
Yeah. For me, because I watched whole season, so I'm gonna say what I thought of it out of 10. I give it a 5. Considering I gave season 3 a 6, I'm definitely giving season 4 a 4 or a 5. What did I say? 5? I said 5, right? Season 4 or 5 out of 10. I think just there were scenes that could have been better for me. Watching the seasons back to back as I've been doing, I think there could have been scenes that were a little bit better, which is why I'm not ranking as high as season 3 as I did in that episode. But I do think it was an okay season. For me, it wasn't the best. It wasn't even good, but it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, this season sucks. It's so bad. Like, it wasn't that bad, looking back at it, but it could have been better in some cases.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think this hits a lot of my chords as somebody who's really into like silly superhero shows.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It doesn't approach season 2 because season 2 is just like a masterpiece of like superhero art, but season 4 is really good. What did you think of season 2? That's one of your favorites, right? I'd have to assume it's one of everybody's favorites.
Yeah, season 2 is one of my favorites. That's because the flashbacks connected so much with Slade, and it was so good, like seeing Shadow in the present day and just everything between Oliver and Slade was amazing. I mean, Slade was such a badass villain. It was just amazing to see him, and I talk all about that in episode 2. So that you watching, if you want to see, if you want to hear me talk about Slade, go watch the episode because I don't think it has that many views. So go
That's
watch
true.
it.
That's true. I'll go watch your podcast maybe if I want to
I
know
need
what
the
you think
views.
about
I
season
need
2.
the views, man.
Yeah, I
I
know.
need.
You're
Oh,
preaching to the
thanks.
choir here. My podcasts get like 10 viewers a pop, but I've been making them for like 5 years at this
Oh.
point. Like we just to put it in perspective for you, this is episode 4 of this podcast. My
Yeah.
my main podcast right now, I have a bunch, but my main one is my comedy argument kind of show. It's called Largest Issue in the Galaxy. We just recorded episode 88 of that show. So I've been at it for a while.
Yeah. So I don't know if have you watched any episodes in the podcast before of mine. I don't think
Not yet. Meaning to get to it, but I have been very busy the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Quote unquote busy. So in the
hey,
podcast,
I really have been busy.
I know. So in the podcast, we do community responses with the Arrowverse Discord server.
Okay.
I'm gonna read because we have 3 of them. I'm gonna read them off, and then if you want to talk about them, you can. You don't have to. I'm gonna read them off now since we're recording it. Just get it done. One again to use watching at home. If you want to be a part of the podcast, Arrowverse Discord server, and the link down below in the description down below. I can't talk for whatever fucking reason. Discord server link, description down below. Join it. Go to the podcast response on the server. It'll be the top thing there on Wednesday every day at 9 a.m. I post it where you can leave responses to whatever I'm talking about in the episode, where it's Arrow Season 5, which will be next week, or Flash Season 8, which will be like 10 months from now. So, if you want to be a part of the podcast, you can do that and interact with the community, which is what this podcast is for. Interact with the community like Riely, like we invite him on to interact with the Arrowverse community, get his opinions on air and all that. So that's what this is for. So one member said, it's okay, the story's decent, I don't really mind it. These responses, by the way, are not very vague. They're like one sentence, which is fine, I don't care, but it's something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Another member said, Arrow Season 4 is a very weird season. There's very few good things and a whole lot of bad.
Hey!
Bad acting, bad fight scenes, bad drama, bad characters. They even cut off Laurel 0 out of 10. Which I do get where he's coming from. I mean, but at the same time, I do disagree with some of the stuff. Another member said, I'm going to be different and say it was a good season. Someone agrees with you, Riely. Someone agrees with you.
Yeah!
I like it, to be honest. I liked how Constantine... I forgot about Constantine. He came in this season with Vixen. Constantine played in and Dark, and to be honest, Laurel 1, Earth 1 annoyed me. So I kind of like that they killed her off. Not the best season, but not bad. I'm so glad he just dug into Laurel there. Jesus.
Yeah, I kind of miss Earth 1 Laurel. Like, I like the way her death impacts this season, but it's like... I kind of prefer the old Laurel over this, like, oh, look at how much of a tough, independent woman I am, Laurel.
Well, I like the Earth 2 Laurel, the Earth Prime one, I guess, now, because, I mean, she's a really good whoever plays Laurel Lance, she's a very good Black Canary. I do like her as Black Canary. And I do think when they casted her as the Earth 2 Laurel, Black Siren, and then became Black Canary, I think it was a good setup, and it was, for me, very good, at least.
It was an interesting way to link Arrow with like the Earth 2 lore.
Yeah.
Because this was happening at the same time.
I do like how they did it.
As Flash season 2, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they kind of have the connecting plot threads where like Flash is super focused on there being alternate Earth, so we kind of get a taste of Earth 2 in Arrow to be that connecting plot thread, which I like.
Yeah. I do like that as well. I think that, it was different, which is good. I think it needed to be, it also was going to have the same connection as Flash did, because they're dealing with it all the time. But having somewhat of connection to Earth 2 with Arrow, I think it was all right. But again, it's not like Flash. Flash went all in on that because it made sense for Flash. For that to happen.
With Arrow, like, it doesn't make sense for them to get like go on journeys to Earth 2 and shit. But like,
Yeah.
having a character from Earth 2 who came to Earth because of Zoom, and then becomes involved in the Arrow plot naturally because she happens to be Laurel's counterpart. I like that they connected the plot threads that way.
Yeah, that was good. So, do you have anything else that you want to add about season 4 of Arrow?
I did not have anything else about season 4 of Arrow, but real quick, I did want to have a sidebar conversation with you, which I mentioned during my maniacal solo time. I've been seeing you get into some spicy Arrowverse arguments on Twitter. It's it's some of my favorite Twitter content is seeing you like reply to Arrowverse Twitter and start flame wars.
Well, I mean, because the Arrowverse community is so toxic, no matter where you go, and people hating on the Flash, and I'm like, dude, watch season 8, watch Armageddon. You're gonna think differently. If people quit nitpicking, everyone's opinions will be so different, right? I get it. We have our own opinions. That's why I'm doing this podcast. You share those opinions. But when you look at it, when people are hating on the Flash for the writers or the Eric Wallace, when they're doing a good job now, like I'm going to defend them. I'm not going to be like, oh, they're hating on it. I'm just going to let it go. I can't just let it go. And like, for me, I can't. I see that. I want to respond to it. I'm going to respond to it. And I want to defend them.
I liked your Olicity defense when somebody posted their favorite Arrowverse ships, and you edited Oliver and Felicity into the picture and responded, "Fixed it for you."
It was Oliver and Laurel. I'm like, no, that wasn't the relationship on this show. It was Oliver and Felicity. Get it right.
I mean, there was a relationship though. Like,
it was for one season. It was for one season that we saw. Like, no. The main relationship was Olicity, and it was a pretty damn good relationship, if you ask me. I know a lot of people didn't like Olicity, but I liked it. Screw you if you didn't. And you know what? I don't care.
I liked Olicity. I feel like Laurel almost has the least argument out of like the preliminary Oliver ships. Like, I could see you saying like Oliver and Sarah or Oliver and the Huntress. But like we didn't get a lot of Oliver and Laurel shipping in the present day. No. We got a lot of flashback shipping, but like in the present day, they just like made out once, and it made Tommy mad, and that was the plot.
Well, I mean, if it was found in the comics, that would have happened a lot more because they were together in the comics. But because Felicity came in 103 and everyone loved her, they made her our love interest, which it worked very well because the relationship between Steven and Emily were really good. I mean, they were really good on screen together, so it worked out. Compared to Laurel and Oliver's relationship on screen chemistry, which wasn't as good as Felicity and Oliver's. That's why it made the show so good because there was that connection there with Oliver and Felicity.
I love Olicity. I do have a little bit of a soft spot for Oliver and Sarah, but like I'll get over it. I like Olicity. Yeah.
So, I think you said you don't have anything else to add, right? You said
nope,
everything.
We're all good. I just wanted to bring attention to your Twitter escapades. Everybody go follow Matt on Twitter.
Yeah, go follow me on Twitter. Turn notifications on so you can see all the rant tweets I get into. There's a lot. So, Riely, thank you for being on. I appreciate it. Hopefully, we can do this again with another season of whatever show.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I definitely want to do Stargirl season 1 with you, but I think I can definitely come on again before that because that's a long ways away.
Well, if you watch Legends, we could use you, because that's going to be a hellhole for me, because I do not like Legends. I do not like Batwoman. So those two shows are going to be a hellhole to do, but...
I have not seen Legends or Batwoman at all. I'm going to try to watch Legends. Like, maybe I'll watch Legends season 1, and we'll do that when you get there.
The first 3 seasons of Legends are good. The other 4 are just dog shit, and everyone loves that. I'm like, why?
I'll start watching Legends, and I will commit to at least 1 season. We'll see if I get through any more.
All right. Well, I'll see you in a month then. If you're gonna be on for like season 1, I'll be on in a month roughly, so a little over a month. Because we
I mean,
know I plan
depends
everything.
on how frequently you want me on this show. I don't want to like impose myself on your
Oh yeah,
podcast.
no. We don't need that. We don't we don't need that. We got enough of you in this episode, so yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Just kick you off. We're done with you. Bye.
Yeah, you canceled our podcast in cold blood. Into the Arrowverse is no more. You replaced it.
I just because there wasn't enough time, and there's still not now for me to where I can do one episode a week. You know,
That's
once
fair.
it was fun to do it, but doing this with seasons instead of like episodes for me, I think it's a lot more easier. That's why I decided to do it. You know,
That's fair.
and also I like the name Adventures of the Arrowverse.
It is a good name.
I came up with it and I was like, holy this is a good podcast name. I mean, no one's used it. No one's ever thought of it before, you know. It's a good name. So I'm gonna go with it.
It's not a blatant ripoff of the name of a Spider-Man movie, so better name.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse. I didn't even realize that until after we made the podcast. I was like, holy this is like a ripoff of a Spider-Man movie.
I was just like, oh, it's the
Name.
Arrowverse. What? I gotta make up a podcast name. Oh, Into the Arrowverse. Cool.
Yeah. But again, Riely, thanks for being on. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys watching enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. And I will see you guys in episode 5 airing next.
Oh, hold on. Do you not do plugs on this show?
No.
Okay.
The only plug I do on this podcast is my Arrowverse Discord server, which I promote every episode before I do the community response. That's it. Okay. If you want to plug something, you go for it. But that's the only thing I plug is Arrowverse Discord.
I just wanted to say, the anchor.fm/Riely mega feed, or look up the Riely podcast mega feed on your podcatcher of choice. That's where most of my podcasts are. And there's links to everything else that I do, such as my social medias and YouTube channel, in the description of that feed. So it's basically like my website, anchor.fm/Riely mega feed.
So go check that out. I might link it. If you send me the link, I'll put in the description.
Sure.
Again, Riely, thanks for being on. I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys. Riely won't. I will see you guys next week. And yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye. Or bye in a second when I get rid of the things.
The behind the scenes of the podcast. We're just sitting here in silence while there's a dead screen.
Okay, bye for real.